The WNBA playoffs have arrived, and Caitlin Clark is showcasing her talent on the biggest stage in women's basketball. Fresh off finishing 4th in MVP voting during her rookie season, this game marked the Indiana Fever's first playoff appearance since 2016, facing a formidable Connecticut Sun team with 5 players scoring in double digits. Just 90 seconds in, after Mitchell's mid-range jumper off a screen, Clark was brutally poked in the eye by Carrington's follow-through, causing her to fall and stay down, yet no foul was called, and the Sun capitalized. It's clear Clark is being targeted, as the Sun's reputation for dirty play, especially from Alyssa Thomas and Carrington, is well known. This early game abuse echoes the Jordan rules from the NBA era, showing the urgent need for the WNBA to protect its star. Indeed, 77% of all flagrant fouls last season were committed against Clark, a startling statistic. Despite this, Clark insisted post-game that the eye poke didn't affect her performance, though her vision and likely her game was compromised. Later, she did get some payback on Carrington. Defensively, the Fever struggled. Clark, likely impaired, failed to track Bonner, who nailed a mid-range shot, and poor boxing out allowed Boston to overpower Bonner for an easy basket. Bonner then responded with a second three-pointer after too much space was given by Lexi Hall, showcasing why she's a top 5 all-time playoff scorer. The Fever's offense continued with Kelsey Mitchell threading a slick behind-the-back pass to Boston, who confidently knocked down her signature elbow jumper in a similar play. Mitchell floated a pass over a double team to Boston, who caught it in the same spot and scored again from close range, quickly reaching 6 points early on. Alyssa Thomas, often dubbed the Russell Westbrook of the WNBA for her all-around game, then took control in transition, powering coast to coast with a slick Euro step that left Lexi Hall behind before finishing with a layup. Later, Clark found Nelisa Smith down low, but Smith's strength overwhelmed her on the layup. Meanwhile, Clark's transition defense faltered rather than tracking Bonner. She was ball-watching and uncertain of her role, allowing Carrington to spot Bonner with a perfect pass over the defense. Offensively for Indiana, Clark fought off Bonner's physical defense down low before kicking out to Mitchell, who sidestepped and drained a huge three-pointer to tie the game, exactly what the Fever needed. Clark showed her physicality, muscling past Mayberry in transition and banking in a tough shot through contact. But no foul was called. These were her first points of the game. Defensively, the Fever struggled to box out, letting Carrington's overcooked layup rebound to Thomas, who banked it in, and later Nelson Addo grabbed a rebound and put it back for the Sun. Indiana ended the quarter on a positive note when Mitchell hit a pick and pop with Dantes, who popped out wide open to knock down a shot, cutting the lead to 1. However, the Suns closed the quarter strong, exploiting poor defensive communication on a pick and roll, leaving Thomas wide open to float in a one-handed shot, giving the Sun a 23-22 lead. Boston carried Indiana early with 6 points and 3 blocks, while Clark was quiet with just 1 field goal due to her eye injury. The Fever desperately needed better defensive switching because playoff mistakes are costly, and the first quarter was simply insufficient. Defensively, Indiana failed to adjust as Bonner drew double coverage, freeing Thomas to make tough shots, and the Suns' dribble handoff between Mayberry and Thomas, combined with Indiana's drop coverage, allowed Thomas to score again from the foul line with an awkward push shot. Early on, Thomas was already flirting with a triple-double, tallying 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Indiana's defense remained sloppy, with Mitchell more focused on complaining to officials than hustling back on transition, allowing Bonner to coast down the floor for an easy layup. However, Mitchell reliably redeemed herself when the Fever's offense stalled, creating something out of nothing by using a dribble shimmy into a scoop layup against Thomas. Bree Jones proved too big and strong for Lexi Hall, with Boston helping down low. Jones smartly drew both defenders before dumping off to Thomas for a layup, bringing Indiana's total to 12 points. The Fever got a spark from their dependable role player as Clark passed to Boston, who then gave it up to Lexi Hall. Boston set a screen for Hall, who cut inside and hit a leaner from the paint's top. The Sun were so focused on Clark moving around a screen that they missed Dantes slipping to the basket, who was perfect with 8 points on 3-for-3 shooting. Offense was hard-earned for Indiana, but Mitchell battled 1-and-1, blowing by Carrington to tie the game with a shot over Jones. Clark then slowed down in transition, waited for Boston, and passed the ball for a lead, putting Indiana up 36-34 on the road. But the momentum quickly shifted as the Sun ran a down screen for Carrington. Mitchell went under instead of chasing, letting Carrington burst to the rim for an easy layup. With Katie Lou and Datas focused on Bonner, Carrington found Jones for a quick 2, highlighting Indiana's defensive miscues. Mayberry then exploited a gamble from Clark at the top of the key, scoring with her left hand. The Sun went on a 9-0 run after a turnover by Boston, with Carrington finding Marina Mayberry for a composed score. Mitchell responded with a late jumper after a Boston screen, cutting the deficit. On defense, Bonner showed toughness despite a size disadvantage against Davis, rejecting shots and forcing turnovers with her length and speed. The half closed with Clark missing a buzzer beater, capping a rough shooting night for her and Mitchell. Combining for just 1 of 11 from three-point range, Clark struggled early, scoring only 3 points on 1 of -9 shooting, going 0 for 6 against Bonner, who led all scorers with 16 points. The Sun ended the half on a 12-2 run, but Indiana stayed within striking distance. Coach Christy Sides clearly needed to shake things up, as this wasn't the same Fever team that finished the regular season strong. Defensive adjustments in the second half were lacking, with Marina Mabrey freely walking into the paint for an uncontested bank shot over a passive Boston. Still, the connection between Clark and Boston remained a positive for Indiana moving forward. Indiana's offense showed flashes of life with Boston well positioned against Bree Jones, converting a layup after a precise pass from Clark. Something the Fever need to exploit more given Boston's low-post dominance. Defensive effort was rare but notable from Lexi Hall, who intercepted a pass from Jones to Bonner and quickly set up Kelsey Mitchell for a crucial corner three, cutting the deficit to 5 and sparking hope from beyond the arc. However, defensive lapses persisted as Carrington blew by Mitchell with ease, exposing Indiana's non-existent help defense. Clark hit her first playoff three-pointer after scoring 8 points, narrowing the gap to 6. But the Fever repeatedly gave back momentum by failing to chase over screens, allowing Marina Mabrey to knock down multiple threes and get into rhythm. Careless possessions and loose balls led to a 6-point swing, pushing Indiana down by 12. The pick and roll between Clark and Boston showed promise as Clark scored easily past Bonner, and a precise pocket pass to Bentley led to a Boston layup. Yet, sloppy passing and poor defense persisted. Clark's careless pass was intercepted by Jones, leading to a quick Sun layup, and Clark's defensive ball watching allowed Mabrey to hit 3 more triples. Despite her struggles, Clark stayed confident, driving hard and knocking down a step-back 3. On defense, Alyssa Thomas's aggressive inbound play and smooth drives extended Connecticut's lead to 15. Mitchell tried to spark a comeback with a 3-point play, but the Fever's weak team defense left multiple Sun players wide open, allowing easy baskets and threes as Mitchell repeatedly lost track of Mabrey, who kept scoring deep threes. The Suns led comfortably as Indiana struggled to stop the onslaught. Now the Sun lead by 18 points. And if the game wasn't already decided, Alyssa Thomas just put the final nail in the coffin. With 6 minutes remaining, Thomas drives with her head up, finds Mabrey curling off a pin-down screen. And despite tight coverage from Mitchell and Boston, Mabrey flips the ball over both defenders, draws the foul, and scores, pushing the lead. 2:21. From there, it was all downhill, for the Fever. Clark seemed disengaged on defense, even giving up an open 3 to Burton, perfectly summing up their overall poor effort. Indiana fell 93-69 in a crushing loss, with Clark having one of the worst games of her career, shooting just 4 of 17 for 11 points and 8 assists, while the Fever made only 6 of 28 threes. Defensively, their effort and schemes were virtually non-existent, putting Coach Christy Sides under heavy scrutiny. Meanwhile, credit must go to the Sun, with Mabrey scoring 27 off the bench, Bonner adding 22, and Thomas recording a triple-double with 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 13 assists. The Fever were clearly outplayed and appeared unprepared for playoff intensity. Whether Clark's eye injury affected the team remains uncertain, but Game 2 in Indianapolis is critical if the Fever don't wake up and win. Their postseason hopes could end quickly with a sweep looming. Drop a comment below if you want us to go live for Game 2. Many accuse this channel of being AI, but I'm human. If you've enjoyed the video so far, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and hit the big box on your screen. Don't miss our last Caitlin Clark video. I'm sure you'll like it. This is DKM signing off. Until next time, peace.